The four closest planets in the solar system are known as the terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun, is riddled with craters that were caused by space rock impacts. It's actually the most cratered planet in the solar system. Mercury is named after the Roman god of messengers. Its radius is 1,516 miles wide, making it the eighth largest planet, also known as the smallest. Mercury is 35.98 million miles from the Sun, and 48 million miles from Earth. It takes 88 Earth days for Mercury to complete a full orbit around the Sun, traveling at 108,000 miles per hour. Actually, at its closest point to the Sun would appear 3 times larger than it is from Earth. During the day, Mercury's temperature can reach as high as 801 degrees Fahrenheit, or 427 degrees Celsius. At night, it can reach as low as -279 degrees Fahrenheit, or -173 degrees Celsius. Mercury's atmosphere contains small amounts of hydrogen, helium, and oxygen, even less being sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Its solar winds bring gas particles into the atmosphere, but it's constantly being blown into space. Mercury currently has no moons, or natural satellites. On March 18, 2011, NASA sent the first satellite to Mercury. This satellite was known as Mariner 10, and it imaged about 45% of Mercury's surface. It flew by the planet 3 times during 2008 and 2009. This satellite discovered Caloris Basin, the largest known crater in the solar system. Venus, the second planet to the Sun, is the hottest planet, at 864 degrees Fahrenheit, 462 degrees Celsius. Its surface is so hot that you could melt lead on its surface. It is named after the Roman goddess of beauty. Venus's radius is 3,760 miles wide. It is often referred to as Earth's sister planet because of similar size, bulk, composition, mass, and proximity to the Sun. It is 67.24 million miles away from the Sun and 261 million kilometers from Earth. It takes 225 days to complete one orbit around the Sun, going 78,471 miles per hour. Venus's atmosphere consists mainly of carbon dioxide. Its atmosphere is hotter and thicker than Earth's. It has the densest atmosphere than all of the other planets. Venus can host clouds of sulfuric acid, which surface can hide the planet's surface in visible light. Venus has no known moons, or natural satellites. NASA launched Venera 7, the first spacecraft to land on another planet, on December 15, 1970. Being an unmanned aircraft, it's measured the temperature of Venus's atmosphere. In 1972, they launched Venera 8, which survived for 50 minutes to measure atmospheric and surface data, before losing contact with Earth. On October 22, 1975, Venera 9 landed on Venus. Venus is speculated to have had water in the past, but scientists believe that the extreme temperatures have long past evaporated it. Venus is also the second brightest natural object in the night sky. Although it didn't have water, it had its largest mountain, Maxwell Montes. Maxwell Montes is 7 miles high, higher than Mount Everest. There are not many meteor craters because most meteors burn up in its atmosphere, but the few meteors that get through create meteor craters that eventually become filled with lava. Earth, the third planet from the Sun, our mother planet, is the only known planet to house water and life and is hospitable for life. Earth's radius is 3,963 miles wide. It is 92.96 million miles away from the Sun and 238,900 miles from the Moon. It takes 365.256 days to complete a full orbit around the Sun, at 108,000 kilometers per hour, or 70,000 miles per hour. Earth's average temperature is 61 degrees Fahrenheit, or 16 degrees Celsius, but it changes based on the time of the year. Earth's atmosphere is a mix of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 1% other gases. Earth has 5 layers of its atmosphere, from lowest to highest in elevation. They are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and the exosphere. Earth has one moon. It is unoriginally called the Moon. It orbits every 27 days at 3,683 kilometers an hour. There are currently 2,271 satellites in orbit of Earth, one being the International Space Station. The International Space Station is the most important satellite because it houses astronauts and is a research lab. Earth is the only known planet to have a breathable atmosphere, water, and life. Earth has many landmarks, Mount Everest being one of the most famous. Mount Everest is 29,029 feet tall above sea level. The biggest waterway is the Pacific Ocean. Earth has 5 oceans: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and the Southern Oceans. Earth even has 165 major rivers in the world. Mars, the 4th planet from the Sun, is known as the Red Planet because of its reddish appearance from the iron oxide in the soil. It is named after the Roman god of war. Mars' radius is 2,106 miles wide. It is 141.6 million miles from the Sun and 54.6 million kilometers, or 33.9 million miles, from Earth. It takes 687 days to complete a full orbit at 24 kilometers a second, or 15 miles a second. Mars' average temperature is -80 degrees Celsius, or -60 degrees Fahrenheit. Although in winter, it can get as cold as -195 degrees Fahrenheit, or -125 degrees Celsius. In the summer it can get as hot as 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or 20 degrees Celsius. At night the average temperature is -100 degrees Fahrenheit, or -73 degrees Celsius. Mars' atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide. It has 600 pascals of atmospheric pressure and its atmosphere is 100 times thinner than Earth's. Mars has 2 moons, Deimos and Phobos. These 2 moons were named after 2 of Ares' sons who accompanied him in a battle. Ares is the Greek equivalent to the Roman god of war, Mars. They were discovered in August of 1877. NASA sends rovers to Mars to gather land samples, data, take pictures of Mars, and to examine rocks microscopically to determine their composition. In 2004, NASA sent Opportunity to Mars, which has the most travel distance than any rover. The most recent rover sent to Mars is Curiosity, which was launched on November 26 of 2011, and landed on August 6 of 2012. Mars is speculated to have had running water before. Stretching across 1/3 of Mars' surface is a split in the crust called Valles Marineris. It is 4,000 kilometers in diameter, 600 kilometers wide, and 7 kilometers deep. It is bigger than the Grand Canyon. Mars also has the Hellas Basin in the southern hemisphere. The Hellas Basin is an impact crater that is 2,300 kilometers in diameter and 9 kilometers deep. Lastly, Mars had the highest volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons is 26 kilometers tall, when Mount Everest is only 1/3 as high. These terrestrial planets are pretty cool, huh?